A dramatic scene on the U.S.-Mexico border. Migrants from Central America gathering along a fence between Tijuana and San Diego. They are part of a migrant caravan that has been headed to the U.S. border for weeks. And then on the other side of the fence, pro-immigrant protesters have gathered. CNN's Leyla Santiago is on the Mexican side of the border. She's been covering the passage of this caravan since the very beginning. Leyla, tell us, set the scene for us. What is happening there?
Right, I want to show you exactly what's happening behind me. You can see on this side there are quite a few of people from the caravan that has arrived here to the U.S.-Mexico border. They sort of had this rally of sorts in which they were cheering. For them, this is a great sense of accomplishment. We did see many of them climb the fence. They did not cross. They simply stood there. And then on the other side, on the San Diego side of the border, there were supporters there as well cheering. We heard many of them chant, "We are not criminals. We are migrants wanting to work, wanting a better life." Many of them have talked about the violence that they are fleeing in Central America. Now, we have been following the story of one woman in particular. Her name is Gabriela Hernandez, and she's with me right now. I want to just kind of get her perspective as to how they're feeling right now. This is Gabriela, this is Jonathan, her 2-year-old son. Gabriela, ¿cómo te sientes en este momento ver que estás tan cerca a los Estados Unidos?
Pues la verdad que me siento bien alegre y a la vez nerviosa, miedo, de todo me he pegado.
So I asked her how she feels seeing that after more than a month of a journey that has been very tough for her, seeing the U.S. on the other side. She said that she's very happy, but also very nervous, even fearful of what could be to come when she turns herself in. Así que el plan ahora mismo, I'm going to ask her, what now? What is she going to do? ¿Qué vas a hacer ahora?
Pues esperar y confiar en Dios de que no nos rechacen y que nos dejen pasar.
She says that her plan now is to wait and pray to God that she is not rejected at the U.S.-Mexico border. I'm going to ask her a key question so that everyone can sort of understand, why is she fleeing? What is this about? Para que la gente entiendan, ¿por qué te fuiste de Honduras?
Por violencia y por grupos criminales, por miedo que le pasara algo a mis hijos.
¿Algo como qué?
Que los mataran por buscar al papá y por medio de eso meterle miedo para que él se entregara hacia las personas que lo buscaban.
So she's saying the reason she is fleeing, and since we followed her story, I will explain to you, she is fleeing because her children were threatened. Gangs in Honduras actually threatened to kill her child, and that is why she left. That is why she is going to the United States of America. Of course, we're continuing to follow her story. Y entonces la esperanza para el futuro, I'm asking her what's her hope for the future.
Es que nos dejen pasar y primeramente Dios llegar a California donde está mi tía.
She said her hope is to be able to cross, to be given permission to cross and get to her aunt that is on the other side. And I'm going to ask her, what if she's not allowed in? Y si no los dejan pasar?
Ese es un miedo el que tengo, de que no nos vayan a dejar pasar y yo no puedo volver a mi país. Ahí sí no sé qué pasaría, la verdad.
So she said that's her greatest fear, that she won't be able to leave because she says she can't go back to her country. Gabriela, muchas gracias. I want to explain to you what sort of the process is in going to the U.S. What this group will be doing, a group of about 100 to 200 migrants with this caravan. They plan to go to the port of entry and turn themselves in to seek asylum. I want to be very clear. That is a legal process. That is the legal way to do it. This group has been criticized by many for illegal actions. This group in particular, they plan to do this the legal way. Gabriela has even said that that is very important to her, to go to the United States in a legal manner seeking asylum. Now, many of the people in this caravan have also opted to stay in Mexico. They are seeking sort of the refugee status here in Mexico. But the common line among all of them is whatever happens, they cannot return to their home country, which for many is Guatemala, Honduras, as well as El Salvador. Central Americans who say if they go back, their life could be threatened. Central Americans, just like Gabriela and her 2 little boys. I should also mention Gabriela is pregnant. So for her, this has been quite the struggle, as I have watched her climb onto trains, more than 50 hours on buses, nights sleeping on the floor of a shelter, nights where she has given her children food as she herself battles hunger. And so one of the things that she often talks about is that people say to her, you know, why are you going to the U.S.? And she often says, a lot of people think I just woke up and said, this is what I want to do. But for her, this is a matter of survival. What will happen in a matter of hours when they go to the port of entry seeking asylum is the big question. What will the United States permit? Already we have heard the Attorney General as well as the President and Department of Homeland Security say that they plan to send a lot more attorneys, have judges on hand to be able to adjudicate these cases, to be able to process them quickly. But that uncertainty is still very much alive and creating the fear for these migrants, just like Gabriela.